All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2. We're up to a good one. This is episode 5. It's called a hen in the wolf house. So full spoilers if you've not seen this episode. This is a big one, and this is a really good episode. I mean, a really good episode. This is another just kick-ass spy episode with elements that are getting bigger and bigger as it goes along. And I mean, I dig this episode, so bear with me because I want to be able to get everything in here, be able to remember and talk about everything because I just watched it. This is only the first time rewatching these, and so even though I knew one detail of this episode, I forgot a good portion of it. And so just start with the beginning. Very much like an X-File. It just kind of happens, and it just reminded me of something like that, where there's a wedding, everybody drinks the champagne because that's where all the poison is, or the chemical agent that they're using, and all these people with the world's worst. Like, can you imagine? This is where you die, is at this, listening to this terrible best man speech, and then you die. That would suck, because that was that was poorly written. That speech was very poorly written. And maybe it was supposed to be. It feels like it was the character that was saying it was kind of a dipshit anyway. But so all these people die, and it's been an experiment that Hydra's doing, that they're working with the obelisk. So they're like trying to figure out how to touch this thing. Even though later on when you find out it's called the Diviner, I'm like, oh, why didn't they just call it the Diviner from the beginning? Because the obelisk is such a fucking stupid name. It's like saying we have to find the log. I don't know. But anyway, so this leads us to Whitehall, coming to where Simmons works, and he knows that she has got a lot of interest in this subject, so she's getting more attention now from Whitehall, but she's also gained the attention of this person named Bobby, who, I don't know if they call her Bobby yet, but she's up Simmons' ass like hardcore, and this is played by oh man, I am so mad at myself for not remembering who this is. How do I not remember her name? She's on the fucking Orville, except I don't like that show, so. Anyway, her is up Simmons' ass big time, and she's really convincing. And I remember when I saw this for the first time, I didn't know what was going to happen, because I didn't instantly recognize her. So I just thought she was going to be, that person, that character that was going to give Simmons a hard time, always looking for something to call her out on. Meanwhile, we've got the team coming back with the painting, and Skye, up Coulson's ass about she sees that he drew on his desk, the symbols. And I mean, I guess May says it best, that just don't keep things from her because it's just going to end badly. And you know what? They're right. I mean, Skye never disappoints in the not minding her own business stuff, but they always end up kind of writing it so that she's kind of vindicated in her snoopiness. Even if it's aggravating sometimes how snoopy she is, they usually end up making it legitimately that she knew something was wrong, and so she was doing something about it. And so it's hard to get mad at her for her motivations. She cares so much. She cares so much that it's fucking annoying. And so I used to just mistake her as just being just annoying, but it's really her motivations are. She just cares so fucking much. And so that just, the first time through watching these episodes, I was always just like, oh my God, Skye, shut up. But now seeing it again and realizing that it's all coming at least from a place of just deep concern for everybody. Because this is her family. This is her surrogate family, or what, since she doesn't have a mom and dad, which is a part of this whole thing going on right now, where she's looking for her dad, she's really close, he's looking for her, which leads me to Kyle MacLachlan's back again as her father, where Raina shows up again, played so brilliantly by Ruth Negga. She is phenomenal in this episode. Who, you know, it's hard to see her, like, it's hard to believe that she's scared. Because you always think she's such a good, her character is so convincingly a liar all the time that you can now never tell when, you know, her character can never say anything without being told she's a liar. That's how, you know, like how, like, you just can't trust her. So seeing her afraid, you just think it's all an act. She has burned herself so bad with lies that when it actually comes out that she's afraid because Whitehall threatened her with that stuff on her hand they were going to kill her with. So now she has to go back to Skye's dad to get the obelisk from them to give to Whitehall, or he's going to kill her. Well, again, Raina mistakes her role in this whole big picture. She is just a pawn. She's been a pawn since the beginning. And the people that have been using her are just using her enthusiasm for her own personal wants and needs and, you know, trying to figure out who she is and, you know, is she something special, all this stuff. So she's kind of a tragic character in the way that she's so desperate that she's just allows herself to be manipulated, which in turn, because of her obsession with her own, you know, stuff, she's always willing to fuck you up over it. And that's what makes her a villain, is that you could sympathize with her if she always wasn't willing to sacrifice everyone and anyone for her own gains. And it's why, you know, again, like Skye, I would get so frustrated with her throughout the series because I would just be like, oh my God, she's just so fucking annoying, just like Skye kind of was. But now seeing it again, like I said, I understand it more. That and when these first were coming out, I was pretty hammered most of the time. So who knows how I should, you know, like how I even watched them. But that's a story that I've already told on my channel. So anyway, she is told by Skye's dad, you know, basically fuck off. Like, you know, you don't really matter. In the end, I want my daughter. You didn't bring her to me. You're bringing me promises and not delivering, so you can go and he can kill you and I'll figure it out on my own. And this is where, you know, she's starting to be more disillusioned about things a little bit. So much so that she, after she sees Simmons, which is really fucking convenient. Well, no, they did make it so that she was going to beg for her life with Whitehall. And so that gets Raina there to see Simmons coming out and knowing that now she's got the upper hand on Coulson. So during all this, you know, you get some Fitz trying to convince himself that Gemma's not there, trying to get better still. You got Hunter, who's just, I love Hunter. I don't know why though. The character's usually, a character like this is usually very irritating to me, but the way that he plays it, just so owning the kind of scumminess and the sleazy and the cockiness of this character, really, really owning it. That's why I appreciate what Nick Blood does in this part. But they all set up this meeting for Raina to come in. I like how they do all this. Like they're explaining to the restaurant, they're going to compensate them and all this stuff. So Raina goes in there, tries, you know, this soft sell, you know, she's always looks like she knows more than you do. She always looks like she has like the upper hand. And so when they tell her no and everything, and she threatens to expose Simmons, and Coulson calls her out, and everybody's starting to freak the fuck out because it's like, what are you, you know, of course, Skye's the first one, like, what's he doing? You know, like, it's like Coulson has a plan. May says Coulson has a plan. Stop not trusting May. Stop not trusting Coulson. I hate this. I hate it when they do this because, you know, you got to trust Phil and May, man. You have to. Even if you, the audience member, are like, you have to really have faith in Phil and May, especially Phil. Just the way that they write his mind and the plans that he comes up with. And so he tells her no, and the countdown rolls down, and it proves a gambit, you know, because Simmons is now, you know, really in deep at this point with her undercover thing, and she's with this with her coming up to her, and then the hard drive problem with the other person that she works with. The walls are closing in, and so when the Coulson allows the email to go out, everybody at Hydra now knows that Simmons works for S.H.I.E.L.D. And so he allows Simmons to be chased throughout Hydra as she's running from, the Whitehall second in command and the guards. You think it's all over for her. You're just like, oh my God, Coulson, what did you do? And then Bobby comes, and now Simmons is basically like, well, I'm fucked. And then Bobby turns, rips out the posts, and starts taking out the guards. And that is a great superhero reveal. They even gave her the superhero move. They let her pose. They did something cool, which is why I'm very happy that that her character is on the show. She's Mockingbird from the comics. And when she joins the team here, it just gives me that, more connection to the MCU proper. And that they're giving Bobby Mockingbird is a pretty good character, and she's been most recently a big part of Peter Parker's life. That just kind of changed in the last 6 months, but him and her were a thing together. And what's cool about Mockingbird is basically she's the female version of a character named Taskmaster, in my opinion. Both of these characters are able to, spoiler alert, mimic people's fighting styles. They can, once they see it, they've got like a memory to, what do they call that? Proving how bad a memory I have. Photographic memory for fighting skills. And so in a way, she's like the female Taskmaster. I hope we get to eventually see Taskmaster either on this show or in the MCU proper, because he's a pretty good villain. And she's, like I said, she's like the female version of that. So she's got legit powers. But hers are more like a skill set, a crazy skill set. Think of how smart Sherlock Holmes is just by himself, just with his brain power. That's what she can kind of do with her body and her memory, her own mind that can process this kind of thing. So it's it's not like a mutation or anything like that gives them this ability. They're somehow in touch with this kind of thing. So I'm digging myself a hole. Time to get out of it. So Simmons is able to escape with her, and they get back to base with Trip and all that. So then Skye dips out to try to find her dad. He's watching from the screen like a tablet while she's afraid, and then they see the bodies that he did, and now he's, Skye calls him a monster, as he says he's a monster. You can tell he's got problems, he's got powers, he's one uptight guy. He's, I'm not going to say he's the Hulk or anything, but he's, you don't want to see this guy angry. In the scene when he's pushing around Raina and stuff, you can tell that there's something wrong with him. Which is an understatement when you find out later on what all is going on and who he is and how he is and all that stuff. But he does, want to find his daughter. He's just going about it in the most violent way possible. Then we get Simmons and Bobby come back to the base where, you find out that Hunter is her ex-husband, that he, is always referring to her as the demon woman or whatever. So now they've got those two on the same, working on the team together, which is a fun time. Coulson confides in Skye about the symbols and what they can do about it. She figures out it's a map. And so there's that. Simmons and Fitz are awkwardly put back together. You can tell that this is going to be a process. And I still love the way Fitz plays himself in this season so far. It's really, really kind of sad. But done acting-wise, really, really good. And then you have the end part after the shield comes down and everything. You get Skye's dad goes to see Whitehall, where he proceeds to kill a couple of his guards right in front of him, and then proceed to show him the obelisk, the diviner, and teach him how. He says he's going to teach him how to use it because they have an enemy in common, and it's Phil Coulson. And Yeah, I mean, this episode just had everything, and especially the spy stuff, man. When she suddenly makes the turn, and you find out she's a secret agent, even though I should have seen it come in the original. I mean, I was just looking forward to it this time, and like waiting for her to just make the turn. And I really wish I remembered her name. You guys are gonna probably tell me in the comment section because it's so bad that I can't remember this because I wasn't looking at the credits, and I just thought that the name would be there when I needed it to be. And as soon as I hear it, I'm just going to be like, oh, God damn it. But anyway, I do know her superhero origin and all that stuff, so it's like, I guess that's kind of all right. But I'll make sure to remember what her name is when it comes back. I mean, I guess I could cheat, right? I could cheat and just, go all the way back with find the credits, and then we could avoid this and later, and you can say, hey, wow, this guy's really professional. Okay, we're getting there. All right, so we're gonna let this play just so I can find out who she is. Okay, yeah, let's jump ahead. Oh, for crying out loud. Really? Oh, fuck. Fuck it. I'm really sorry, everybody. The name probably pops up in the background. So anyway, yeah, that's it. This is a really, really good episode. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robin Sperky Gun Review saying we'll be back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming up later on tonight. And then we have Happy Season 2, Episode 2 later. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time.